Hi, I'm Ken Ellison from Ellison Machine Shop. You all know me. I'm your engine guy. Happy April Fool's Day. Today is April 1st, 2025. And to this year is a whole lot happier April 1st than it was this time last year because we just passed our 1 year anniversary of our beautiful Francis Scott Key Bridge getting knocked into the Chesapeake Bay right as a loaded tanker cargo ship loaded to the gills, loaded full of containers, getting ready to head across the ocean, and it had steering issues, and they knew it prior, and then that's what the news reported. Obviously, I don't know this myself, but just what the news had reported, that had ongoing steering issues. It came into the harbor, it left the harbor, the steering cut out, the ship cut out, the power went off, it came back on. They tried 2 times to get the ship through the harbor, which I would assume that after the first time they cut out, they would have dropped anchor. But no, they decided to try to split the uprights of the inner harbor, and they knocked the bridge down into the inner harbor. They killed several people, and this may not seem. This is even hard for me to understand about myself because I'm not the kind of guy who gets emotional over what could have happened. But I've been over that bridge. I've done the math. I've been over that bridge more than 25,000 times, and I go across that now at least 2 times, or I did prior to it falling in the harbor. I would go across it 2 times a day with my oldest son. We carpool to work together, and we were literally 5 hours away from being on that bridge, which in the grand scheme of things doesn't sound like a lot to me. I mean, it might to you, but it doesn't to me. It definitely gave me a very surreal feeling. The actual thought of being on that bridge and it going over is just terrifying. But times 10 when your son is in the car next to you, is in his car in the seat next to you. So it really kind of shook me last year, and I just didn't feel like being jovial or talking about anything. But I did my video anyway. My life has been interrupted. I spend anywhere from a half an hour to an extra hour and 15 minutes every day just about getting home because everybody now is jammed going through our harbor tunnel as opposed to going across the bridge. And everybody who had to go in the same way now who used to go different ways is now all sharing the same route. So it's been rough. That by itself is it makes your life different. But anyhow, you guys didn't come to hear me talk about all that stuff. But honestly, this is a video I kind of do for myself more so than any of my followers, because I am a professional at my job. I'm always courteous. I'm friendly to all my customers, and honestly, I generally like just about everybody who comes through the door here. I'm kind of a people person, and this is the one time a year after being nice to everybody that I kind of just melt down and get a few things off my chest, and I get to talk about some of the posts and things like that people have put on my page over the year. It's a time for the machine shop to strike back. So anyhow, guys, honestly, it's been a kind of, other than the bridge and all of the driving back and forth, has been kind of uneventful. On a personal note, I'm a grandfather, which I have been. I've got 2 boys. I've got 4 grandsons, and my son that carpools with me, Kenny Jr. His wife Brooke just made me and my wife grandparents with our first baby girl just a couple months ago, and we're really ecstatic about that. So that's pretty cool. And I apologize for rambling on about things that have nothing to do about engines, but as I said earlier, this is my video. This is something that I enjoy doing, and these are things that are important to me in my life. I really appreciate my customers. I love the messages that you guys put on the pages, all the different things I post and I follow, and I take a lot of phone calls from all you guys, and a bunch of you already know, but this is not an invitation to call me up and tell me that you're having a problem with your car. But I do answer questions for people that have engine issues. I try my very best to get back to everyone I can. It's easier said than done, but I get people who call me from all over the planet. I'm here in Maryland, as I said, Baltimore, Maryland. We're close to Washington, D.C., which is an easier way of recognizing where we're at here on the East Coast. And I've had people call me from several guys from Australia. Actually last week I had a gentleman call me 3 times from Israel, which is pretty cool to sit back. I've actually helped him fix his car. I'm actually getting to repair automobiles all around the world with giving people diagnostic advice. Like I said, that's not an invitation to call me. Um, there's too many of you and not enough of me, and I do get back to everyone I can to the best of my ability. But it's overwhelming, and I hope you all understand that. Please be respectful of my time. Please be respectful of the people that you do business with. Machine shops are going out of business like crazy. And you guys might not know this, but right here in my area, we've lost, since right before COVID, we've lost about 20 machine shops that are in driving distance of my business. A big part of it is because a lot of guys, especially older guys, I've always been one of the younger guys in the business, even though I'm in my 60s now. All kinds of shops have just had enough of this because, and I hate to say this, and I'm not trying to blame people, but social media has made it really hard on a bunch of us. People have a lot easier ways of getting in contact with us. And of course, for the older fellows that really aren't computer literate as much as some of these younger guys would be, chasing parts down has gotten to be a pain in the neck. Companies don't like to produce parts catalogs anymore. So we've got a different scenario we're working in right now, and a lot of guys just threw in a towel and called it quits. I'm personally planning on dying in my work boots, and looks like I'm on track to do that because I feel like I'm going to die sometimes. This is a hard job. Wears me out. I constantly have to be on my game mentally, and it's really taxing on us. Having said that, then I get to all the questions nonstop. I get to all the people who come into my shop, and this is the thing, guys, that makes our job hard that you just need to take into consideration. You want a better relationship with your machine shop? Hear what I got to say from this point on. You bring in all your parts, you drop them off on our counter, you tell us to build an engine. You can't do that and expect us just to assemble. Sometimes there are some guys out there who'll put parts together. I hate to say that, but if you bring in your parts, they'll put them together regardless, even if they're not the best match. And I try not to do that. But it really puts a lot of stress on us when you go ahead and do that, and you're expecting us to do it for no money down. Oh, sure, we're building your engine, but what about the parts? What about the time of going through and figuring all those things out and making sure that those parts are actually going to work one to another? There's a reason that the 327 that I just did today is so much better than the 327 that I used to do a few years back, or not really a few, more like 30. I'm doing a lot of basically the same thing, but I have a better understanding of how parts match together. And too many of you guys are coming in and bringing in your own parts, and when you bring them in, they're just not a good fit. Wrong intake with the wrong size heads, with the wrong size camshaft, too low, too high compression, and you wind up with an engine that's temperamental. And if you're asking me to go through and figure all this stuff out for you, then buy your parts from me. Buy your parts from your machinist. You're sitting here trying to save every last dollar you can, and I understand that, but my time is valuable. And as I just said, lots of machine shops have went out of business, and these businesses have closed up. A lot of it wasn't necessary. There's a lot of guys that are struggling because they're not making enough profit, and there's a lot of big companies like Summit and Jegs that are literally eating our lunch. I don't blame you for trying to save a buck, but if you got to drag me into saving a buck, you're not saving a buck. You're taking my money away from me. If I'm giving you my free time to help you out with your project, then dude, you're not actually saving a buck by buying the part somewhere else. You're literally forcing me to help you make the purchase, and that's taking time away from me. It's taking time away from your engine builder, and that's a big part of why we're losing people here, and that's getting kind of sad. Social media. This ain't going to be a long video. We're not going to go real long here, but social media, I got to tell you, there are so many of you guys who will sit here and listen to a video that someone puts their heart and soul in, or they just, or at least their time. They're giving you their knowledge, and then you get on and you make the most ridiculous statements. Guess what, fellas? I'm not perfect. Sometimes I say things wrong. Well, I'll tell you what I won't do. You clowns that get on my social media page and want to say and insult me and say things that you shouldn't, I'm never going to mention your name online. You're never going to get your 15 minutes of fame out of me, because I'll make fun of you and I'll tell people the dumb things you said, but you're not going to get credit for it. So If you're some of the things that people say to me are almost like they're trying to make the April Fool's video. It really do. I recently had a guy that I ran an engine on did a beautiful 440 Chrysler for Brian Wett. Really great customer. We did a 440 for him, and I ran it on the engine stand. Yeah, I tuned it all up. I broke it in. I set the time and set the carburetor. I changed heat range of spark plug. I did a couple of different things to it. Nothing that I haven't been doing for 35, 40 years, 45 years. Since my first tune-up, I do all the basic same things. Guy comes on and wants it. This other guy comes on and wants to sit here and first of all, he attacks me personally because I get sometimes I slur my words a little bit. Instead of saying bearing, I got connected rod bearings. I say bearing. Sometimes I just don't put enough emphasis on it. So he talks to me like I'm an idiot because I misspoke and I didn't go back in and edit it or try to. Big deal. I'm doing a video. If you don't want to watch, move forward. It's just ridiculous. Making fun of the way I talk. I have people guys online want to start telling me about my accent. Guess what? I'm in Glen Burnie, Maryland right now. That is where my shop is located, and this is how I speak here. Everybody talks like I do. If you're listening to this in Australia, you guys talk different than I do. If you're talking, some of my people who call me from down south, even the United States here, some of their southern drawls is really strong. It's kind of hard to hear some people, but I really can't believe it. I'm sitting here doing a free video, and I have people I never met are calling me up and are insulting, not calling me, but online are insulting me because of the way I talk. Guys, get a life. That's all I got to say to you. Get a freaking life. You guys call engine parts all kinds of things that they're not. You use all kinds of slang on engine parts. You misspeak every time just about when guys are talking about decimals. It's amazing how many people can't do math. And you make fun of me because I guess I'm just too lazy to say bearing. Sorry. I said baron. The Duke, the Baron, the Queen. So, okay. Am I stupid because of that? I've listened to a guy online. I've listened to a guy's video, and I'm not kidding, and I'm not making fun of this gentleman. I'm actually impressed with him. His video, the way he speaks and some of the words that he pronounces incorrectly, he sounds like he's actually illiterate. And I sat here and watched this guy, and believe me, he may not understand how the English language is written. This guy's a mechanical genius. I would never, after he sits here and gives me his free advice, I would never get online and say, hey, where'd you learn to talk? Or say something even more insulting. But doesn't stop people from getting online and telling me my hair is crazy, I have a mullet, I'm fat, I speak funny. Come on, guys, I'm doing a video. I do videos that are sometimes they're way too long. You guys tell me that all the time. Sometimes they're way too long and they're chock full of information. And the only thing you got to say to me is something that attacks me personally. You don't even know me. And here's the best part. All of my followers, they come after you guys and make fun of you. And I wind up usually just deleting the comment after a while. And occasionally I have to kick some of these off my page. I'm glad to say I think I've only booted 2 people this year. So that's a big thing for us here. I guess that means either less people are following me or more people are being polite. So let's hope it's the latter. But anyhow, guys, I'm really not much to sit here and talk about. Like I said, I've had a lot of different things that I come online and I tell you that's funny on April Fools and usually some other times too. It's been a pretty quiet year. I just really want to touch base with you all. And like I said, this thing is for me. I sit back and watch them once in a while and amuse myself. All the other videos for you guys, This one's for me. I'm just coming on to say, hey, thanks for following. Um, I hope this to be a better year than next year. Uh, I keep politics off this page. I keep religion off this page. I have personal, I'm a man of faith. If you ever want to talk to me about anything like that, you can get a hold of me. If you want to talk politics, if for some reason you think you want my opinion on that kind of stuff, I'll talk to you just about anything because I'm a people person. But to be perfectly honest, one thing in life I'm good at. I'm good at building engines. It's all I'm interested in. That's all I want this page about. I'm a big sports fan. I don't talk sports on here, although once in a while I'll make a sports metaphor, but I don't talk about sports. We like to keep this about engines. And I'm asking you all to keep your political opinions to yourself. I had a guy yesterday. This was real yesterday, day before. This was real recent where um, I was talking about drag racing, and he dragged politics because of the drag word. I guess for politically incorrect being drag queen or something like that. I don't know exactly, but we're not talking about President Trump or Elon Musk or anyone else or Joseph Biden on my page. That's a sure way of getting booted off and never coming back. That might not be a big thing to you, but it's not a big thing to me. If you don't play nice, I'm not interested in being your friend. I'm not interested in being associated with you, not even on social media. Um, Life's too short to put up with stupid stuff. And if you come here, guys, let's talk cars, okay? This is it's not like I don't have opinions on all those things, and it's not like I don't think they're important. Um, I just want to say that no matter who's in the White House, we've all made it. It's been terrible, guys. Just relax. Whatever happens over the next 4 years, it happens. We'll make it through it. Just chill, and please leave all your worries somewhere else when you come to my page. My page is all about cars and all things mechanical and just things that car guys and girls find interesting. So anyhow, just want to wish you all another good year. And if anything particularly happens, it's silly and ridiculous. It's going to go in the file this year, and we'll talk about it next year. But anyhow, this is just kind of like I said, this is just me saying hi, talking about some things that I think are cool, and sometimes having a little bit of fun. So we'll see you next year, and I always appreciate you watching. And of course, this video isn't a good representation of my work. Check if you like engine building, you want to learn. My point of doing these videos is not to get famous. My point of doing these videos is to teach you how to build engines. If you learn how to build engines, my grandchildren will always get to see muscle cars riding down the road. And in a day and age where politics is trying to put my business uh, under, they don't want guys like me rebuilding stuff, and the manufacturers don't want guys like us rebuilding stuff. They want everything used, worn out, and replaced, which ain't good for the planet. But I'm trying to teach you how to build engines so that you get to have as much fun as I'm having right now, and that my grandchildren grow up in a world where we get to drive whatever we want to drive. I'm a car guy. I relate to car people. The rest of yous are just in my way. I don't know how else to say that. I love engines and everything about them. I hope you do too. If you do, please follow and share, and come back when I'm talking about something important, because right now I'm just rambling and I'm having fun even if you're not. So anyhow, guys, take care. We'll see you soon.